Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Unconditional Colors podcast. My name is Kelly. I'm so happy to have you here. I had a very different plan for what I was going to talk about today, but an experience that I had today made me made me feel a lot. It made me realize many things, and I'd like to record these messages for everyone because I feel like they're good messages. I feel like I need them. So I figured why not extend them to everyone. What I want to say overall is that life and all of the different flavors and textures and colors of life, all of them are opportunities. And the difficult moments, which I feel that at least in the culture that I was raised in, I feel I was really taught that life is about minimizing difficult moments, avoiding difficult moments, always trying to make things appealing and happy. So that's lame. First of all, life, you know, there is so much information in the world. There's so much of it, and it just keeps growing and multiplying, and that's great. And I also feel it's the same with ourselves. We can get so much information about ourselves or about emotions, psychology, health, the body, the nervous system. But it's really important that we open our arms to life in everything that it has to offer us. Because if we don't do that, all of the self-awareness and all of the knowledge and all of the realizations that we've had never really touch the ground. And so within our relationship with ourselves, it's important that we commit to who we're becoming more than who we were, or the patterns that we've learned. So I really feel like all the patterns that we've picked up are they're like miscellaneous objects that we're carrying in our backpacks. And they might seem kind of random, and it's kind of like, oh, I just want to get rid of it. Or intense memories that we have. It's like, oh, I just want to get rid of it. I feel like that's like the standard thought that we've been taught is just forget about it, move on. Why haven't you moved on yet? Well, it's because all of those things are still in my backpack. And I can't throw them away. Because if I throw them away, they're still going to exist. I've just pushed them further away from me. And so if we can take those miscellaneous objects and we can turn them into a work of art, I feel this is really the art of life in so many ways, is to take our story and the things that have really ripped us to shreds and to bring that as a work of art, to bring that as a gift and an offering to everyone who comes into our lives. And so that to me is a commitment to life itself. It's a broader commitment, because of course we can commit to healing, we can commit to growth. But what if we just commit to life? And what if we say, hey, I open my doors to life and everything that it wants to show me? And when I have a difficult moment and the patterned expression of myself, who I am no longer committed to, who I am no longer hiding, shame, who I am no longer defending, pride, that is not what I'm committed to anymore. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. I'm going to get deeper into this. So now you really connect with the essence of you, which is so much bigger than what your experience has been thus far. And you're only going to continue to connect with that. But I feel like oftentimes in this world of quote unquote healing, there's so much emphasis on understanding our past and understanding our patterns. And that is good to a certain point, but understanding in the mind is not the key to healing those things. Self-awareness alone is going to get you not very far. So if you have the self-awareness, but you also have a really profound commitment to life and to who you truly are and to love and to growing in love every day with yourself and with the people in your life, because I feel like relationships are really a space where we see ourselves in the mirror crystal clear. Crystal clear. And so when we make a commitment to life itself, then this becomes really fun. Then there's nothing to hide, because who we were in the past and those patterns that can sometimes come out of us are things that are on their way out, because something new is on its way in. And it's building a stronger presence within us every single day. So the person who you're becoming now is so much stronger than the person who you were. Your dreams are now so much stronger than your fears. But they still go hand in hand because you have the self-awareness. So you have the self-awareness of the fears, you have the self-awareness of the patterns. So you can recognize them for what they are. The self-awareness is to recognize them for what they are and say, hey, yeah, you showed up, but I think you got the wrong address. Because we're kind of just doing a different thing over here. I don't really think that you're going to enjoy this place. You're not creating a hospitable environment for them anymore. So that commitment to who you truly are is not as easy as just doing hypnosis or meditation or reading books or journaling. Those are powerful tools and those form part of this. But the commitment is an undying commitment. So when the addiction to negative thinking comes up, when the attachment to old beliefs comes up, when the attachment to old patterns come up, or when we are faced in a difficult moment, either alone or with someone else or with other people, that this commitment has become so strong within us that those moments that are difficult, where those old patterns really want to come through, where those old patterns want to present themselves and they want to be right and they want to win the argument, whatever the situation is, the commitment to truth and love has such a presence within our nervous systems that now we have a choice in those moments. So instead of the habitual reaction, we have created a choice. And that choice gets installed into us through practice. Of course, we have to change our mindset. Of course, we have to have the self-awareness. But we can't become addicted to information. We need to put the information into practice, and we need to have a commitment to love. And what does love look like for us? Well, that's what you need to become clear with. What is love like expressed through you? What is the love that you want to bring to the world? What is the color or the colors of love that you want to bring to the world? And commit to that. And so what you can do is you can reflect on your reactions, your patterns, your reactions. Maybe you have phrases that often come through you or behaviors. And you can write it down, and then you can switch it out for what would your ideal response be to those things that trigger those reactions. That's a great way to imagine a new version of you. And that's a really great thing to do because the brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So that's a really good way to start moving into this energy, to start feeling that. But the next step is to be able to flip the switch. So when you want to go into those reactions, you have to have some kind of cue or some kind of way to say, hey, no, something else is more important here. No, these reactions, I don't invite them into my life anymore. And so one way I feel we can do that is to be radically honest with ourselves when those old emotions, thoughts, and patterns are coming up. And if we're in a difficult moment or a difficult conversation with someone else, to communicate those things that are coming up for you, rather than sticking in the reaction or sticking in the dynamic of me versus you, I'm right, you're wrong. If we can be vulnerable with ourselves and with other people and really honest about where we're at with things and honest with ourselves when those emotions come up and feel those emotions, because those emotions aren't going to stay forever. Like everything else in the world, they want your attention. And so once you give them your attention, you can give them attention rather than resisting and making them stronger so that they keep banging on your door. Let them knock on the door, open the door, and say, hey, I see you. What can you teach me? How can you enhance my life? And those reactions and those emotions can enhance our lives because they can give us different colors and different flavors of life, and then we can be able to communicate those to other people. And that's a really awesome way to create more authentic relationships in the world. That self-awareness in action is so beautiful because it's true communication. And when we can communicate and really express all of the difficult emotions and difficult thoughts that we have, when we communicate those things, we set them free. And we also liberate things in other people. How many times has it happened that a poet or a songwriter or your friend describes an emotional experience and you're like, wow, that's how I feel. You've described it in a way that I just feel in my whole body. So all of us have that power, and we can bring that into our lives. And so all of the inner work really needs to be tied with a devotion to life and a genuine, deep gratitude for life. Life is the greatest gift that we have, and we can do anything with it. It's just this blank canvas that we paint and then the paint disappears. It's the most magical canvas because, of course, we can build things, but we're constantly moving. We're constantly changing and growing, and we have this opportunity to reinvent ourselves and to create such a beautiful world. But that's only going to come from how beautiful we can make our inner world. And that's going to come from not getting so stuck and trying to understand everything, but really taking what we know about ourselves and putting it into loving action and committing so much to our dreams, so much to our love, so much to our joy, that when those other emotions come up, they only came to enhance the joy and the love. They only came to complement those things. And that, for me, is really being an artist of life, is to use all of those emotions as different colors to create more contrast, to make everything stand out more, to make all of the colors more vibrant, because all of those energies are welcome, because you know the power of all of those energies. You know how your frustration has led you to finding what's true for you. That feeling of hitting a wall, eventually makes you want to break through that wall. So every emotion that we have is a messenger. And that devotion to life and that devotion to those difficult moments and the devotion to responding and inviting those difficult moments with love, because difficult moments are inevitable. And they're difficult because they're challenging us. And that's the power. They're pushing us to grow. And the non-challenging moments are giving us the time to shine fully. Nothing's blocking us. We're shining completely. So the challenge really complements how much we can shine into the world. And so let's invite challenge into our lives, and let's invite difficult conversations into our relationships. My family did not invite emotionally difficult conversations. And so today when I had this emotionally charged conversation, I realized, wow, I'm the first person after 3 generations of people who is really working to have healthy communication with my partner and with all of the people in my life. And I sat with that for a moment and I just felt, yeah, I'm a child. I'm learning how to do this. I'm all those years of childhood when I was supposed to learn healthy emotional communication. I'm doing it now, and I've been doing it for years, but I'm still doing it. I'm still in that process. So I was just like, yeah, I'm doing something huge. I'm changing the patterns of my family. It's not just us. It's never just us. What we're doing is changing the story of our families. It's changing our stories, and it's changing the lives of everyone we come into contact to come into contact with. Because if you're free to feel any emotion in its fullness, and you don't have to get into a patterned reaction with it, rather you invite that reaction in, but it doesn't overpower you, you become a magician. Life becomes a joy of so many different flavors that you can use in so many endless ways. And so it just becomes more fun because we're not hiding anything. We're not blocking anything. We're not resisting anything. We're opening ourselves to life with open arms. And we're letting it take us on this ride. We're letting it surprise us. You know, I think a lot of us have been taught to control life. And that comes a lot from the Western mindset of controlling nature, controlling our bodies. But when we let nature be wild, and when we let our bodies be wild, and when we let our emotions be wild, we connect with this beautiful force of life that's so inexplicable and that can only serve to surprise us more and more every single day. And this makes me tear up because life is so beautiful, and everything that you've experienced, even the most difficult thing, is a gift. And when we bring the awareness of that gift into loving action, we really change our past, our family's past, and we liberate so much love in the world. We make a world full of vibrant colors. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening to this. This has just been such a joy to record this and share. So I hope that you got something good out of it. Of course, feel free to contact me. I would love to hear your comments and your thoughts and your experiences. Yeah. Thank you for being you in all of your colors.